Hey, Scott Austin here from Jade Puma. Just wanted to show you quickly something a client of mine showed me today that popped up in their business yesterday. And it's just a warning for you to see how bold um, spoofers are on the internet today with e-commerce. So here's my client store, the Game Steward, and you can see some obvious branding in there. They've got the logos, they've got their photo, their images up there. Some rich imagery going on. So it's pretty obviously their brand. And what they do is they sell board games, and a lot of them are pre-order board games through Kickstarter. So here's the site that is spoofing them currently, and here you can see the domain here is Steward misspelled with two e's. So it's the Game Steward with two e's instead of one e.com. And you can see they've just literally torn images off of my client's website, completely stealing their brand, right, and putting it up on the store, including these imagery, this custom artwork they were done, and their actual products, right. So let's go into a product here, this Zombicide one, and I'm just going to search for that on the real legit store. And what you'll see is this product is for sale for $469, and the fake spoofing store is selling it right now for $69. And here's the key about this, which is really interesting, is the Game Steward, what they do is they sell games that are pre-order. So this game isn't out yet, and it's going to come out months from now after the developer's done, designing the game and manufacturing it. So what you'll see is, or the reason that's important is, they're not going to be shipping. If I buy this today from this fake website, I don't expect to get it right now, right? Because it's a pre-order. It's not going to be available for 6 months, a year, whatever time frame. So I'm not going to be expecting a shipping email and a fulfillment email and all that kind of stuff in the short term. So these guys, if they don't get taken down, which we'll talk about that in a second, right? If they weren't to get taken down, they could be collecting revenues for 6 months on this pre-order scheme, and then just shut the store down, and then the game store would be left, with customers who weren't their actual customers, thinking they had bought them from the legitimate store, saying, "No, I ordered Zombicide a year ago from you as a pre-order, and now it's out now. Where's my copy?" Right? So you can see where the unique business model of the Game Steward of pre-orders makes them really vulnerable to a spoof attack like this, because these guys wouldn't get caught for months because they're not fulfilling for months. Now, how do they get caught? How does my client know about them? What they're doing is they're advertising on Facebook, right? So, the point here is this game is actually selling for $470. They're selling it for $70, or they're taking seven of your dollars, telling you they're going to send you the game in the future, which they never will. So they're doing this serious discounting, perceived discounting, as Facebook ads, and some of the real Game Stewards customers were getting those ads showing up in their Facebook, probably because the spoofers were targeting people who either had liked the Game Steward's Facebook page or had visited, you know how in Facebook you can do lots of detailed targeting, so they could even, target specific audiences that were, likely Game Steward audiences, and show them this deep discount and draw the traffic in. So their customers were clicking on these ads and then realizing, this looks a little bit like the Game Store, but it's definitely not, because it doesn't meet the quality bar of that store at all. And the only payment option here is PayPal, even though they even mimic the cart experience of Shopify. This is not on Shopify, but the real store is a Shopify store. The fake store is not. And the fake store, if I go to the checkout, you'll see they even mimic the Shopify checkout experience, right? For those of you who've been on Shopify, you know that this is what the Shopify checkout experience looks like, and so you edit it with your branding. So they did a really detailed job of like pulling down these assets from the product, pages and the site and all that kind of stuff. And there's multiple products up in this store. So I'm totally amazed at how bold that this theft, right? This complete theft here going on is, and how blatant, how overt these people are being. I've never seen anything like this, which is why I want to document this and share it with you. So now, what is happening, to take this site down. The first thing is PayPal. This is the real PayPal. You can buy right now this product through PayPal, or you can pay through PayPal. You'll never get the product, right? So the Game Steward has their attorneys going out to PayPal, take down that PayPal account. There's also Facebook ads going on. So there's two American companies we just talked about, PayPal and Facebook, and they're doing the same thing with Facebook. Like, let's see, a notice and take down of these ads because they're violating brands. And then a couple other things is I went and looked on Who Is, right? The GameSteward.com spelt wrong. If you do a quick search, you'll see that their domain is registered with Name Silo. I've never worked with that company, but that's another company. If this ever happened to you, you could look at who are they registered through. You could go through and try to talk to the domain registrar and have them revoke that domain from them. And they're hosted on Cloudflare. So there a couple more companies that you can go talk to get at least the content taken down. This is the kind of stuff. It's probably the source of it is probably overseas, and that's just a guess on my part. So you could probably never really pursue them legally, from a criminal standpoint, but you can at least get this egregious, theft of your brand taken down from the internet. So the first places to look here are the payment provider, any ads they're doing, where the domain is registered, and where the site is hosted. So hopefully that helps you, be able to identify in the future if you're being spoofed and take some action again, some of the actions you can take against that. Thanks for listening.